got a junk food addiction, you can't help yourself but gravitate towards the highly processed, sugary bullshit. And you've been struggling with this for a while. You have been struggling, and you're honest about that. But at the same time, you also claim that you want to shift your entire lifestyle and live a healthier life. You want to build your dream physique. You want to clean up your diet so you can feel better about yourself. But you've been struggling. You still have this addiction. Well, let me just be blunt with you from the get-go. You're unserious about losing the weight. This month alone, you've probably looked in the mirror and said to yourself, that's it. I'm sick and tired. I've had enough. I'm not going to binge out again. I'm not going to cheat on my diet again. You've probably said that 100 times in the last month. With full conviction, you've looked in the mirror and said that. But deep down, even you don't believe yourself now. You know it's a lie. You know you're going to cheat on your diet in due time. And so you do. Because you are unserious about losing the weight. You're unserious about this lifestyle shift. Because, let's be completely honest, if you were actually serious, you would have lost the weight by now. You would not tolerate failure. You would have implemented all the strategies possible to ensure you achieve the goal. You wouldn't tolerate failure. That's just me being honest. If you were serious, everyone slips up here and there working towards their goal. Everyone fails. But you keep flip-flapping back and forth. Yeah, and you've been doing this for months on end. And you still claim you're serious about this goal. No, you're not. You're unserious. So how about the first step you take right now is just accept that, okay, maybe I am unserious. I say all these things about wanting this, wanting that, this is my goal, this is that. But maybe that's not even deep down, that's not even the goal I want to work towards. Maybe that's something you don't even want. Maybe it's something that just you think sounds cool. So you've just said, yeah, I'll go with that. Because if you were serious, you would have lost the weight by now. You would have made the transformation. You would have stopped eating like shit. So let's start here. The first step. Ask yourself this right now. Do you even want to change? Do you even want to build the physique? Do you even want to take the daily actions, day after day, over a long period of time, to achieve the physique? Can you even be asked? So, ask yourself that now. Do you even want to change? And by this point, if you've said no, then you may as well just click off this video because I sure can't help you. No one on the planet can help you. They can try, but they won't be able to help you because you don't even want to change. If you want lasting results, you first need that innate will to change. That serious spark inside of you. I know that sounds cringe, but it's like something inside you that actually wants to change. You feel it inside of yourself. It's not just this wish-washy bullshit that just comes over you for a couple minutes and then it disappears. There needs to be something inside of you that actually wants change, that craves change, that knows it needs to change. And it needs to come from a place of like darkness. You're just sick and tired of living the way you are. So start here. Do you even want to change? If you don't, just click off the video. But if you do, maybe this will help you. Now, a lot of people will turn around and say, so my junk food addiction is the problem. My food choices are the issue. Yeah, they are the issue. But that isn't the real problem though. If you think the real problem at hand you have is the junk food, how many people do you know that are able to eat junk food but still restrict themselves throughout the week and they still live a healthy lifestyle? They're not fat. Their belly isn't hanging over their toes. How many people do you know like that? Well, I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of people out there who can do that, who can still eat the junk and restrict themselves throughout the week, and they're still in shape. They're still mobile. They can still move around perfectly fine. So the junk food and the food itself isn't the issue. So you can stop blaming the food. You need to focus on figuring out what the real problem is for you. Because the real problem is at the root. The junk food addiction is here. Why the hell would you try and tackle the issue here when the root issue is at the bottom that's causing this domino effect for these other problems to arise? Why the hell would you try and tackle each individual problem one by one when you could just tackle the root cause of the issue, which will eradicate all of the other problems? Genius. I'm not a genius, but I think tackling the root cause and digging deeper would be the right way to go. Would you agree? If you've got a brain cell, you'll agree with me there. So the real problem, let's try and figure out what the real problem is. The first part of the problem, the cue. So this is when you are going about your day, la 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 la, enjoying yourself. You're happy. You're actually doing really well. You've stayed consistent with the diet. You've been eating clean. You've even exercised early in the morning. You're feeling great about yourself. You've got this momentum. You've got this new feeling about you. People even notice it. You're getting about your day. You're happy. And then there's the cue. You either see or feel something that then spirals into the other things that I'll go over. So, in your case, junk food addiction, it could be that you go into the office and you see there's donuts everywhere. Never mind the drawing, but someone's brought in donuts. You see these donuts and you start salivating. You remember what these donuts make you feel like. The high you get from eating these donuts. That is the cue. You've seen them and you felt a certain way. Or it could just be something as simple as this. For a lot of people, this is what the issue is when they say they've got a junk food addiction. The cue is 95% of the times, it's always stress, anxiety, or sadness. It's these three emotions that are the cue. This is what they feel. It could be something like at work, they've encountered an issue and they've had an argument with someone at work, which has then caused stress, and now they're anxious to go into work. And to cope with that, they will go ahead and have the craving. This is the second part. So what I mean by the craving is the stress at work. To cope with this stress, to eradicate this stress, the person craves the feeling of happiness. The person, you, wants to feel happy and normal again because of this stress that you faced at work. And how do you know? How have you been coping in the past? What's the best method you have? Junk food. To feel happiness and like yourself again. Something familiar that you can just go back to. So, in reality here, all you're resorting back to is comfort. And you're using junk food as the vehicle to take you towards comfort. So that is the craving. You are craving happiness and normality to escape the stress. But you need to understand something right now. The happiness that you feel from eating these types of food isn't true happiness at all. It's short-lived pleasure. Let me ask you this. How long do you feel good for after eating these types of foods? After pigging out? After clearing out a whole box of donuts? How long does it take for you to feel normal again? After 10 minutes, you're back to feeling like shit. You're back to feeling regret. You're back to feeling unhappy. You're back to feeling anxious. So how the fuck is that true happiness? You first just need to understand that right now before you continue. You're conflating true happiness with short-lived pleasure. Instant gratification versus happiness. They do not go hand in hand. They can never go hand in hand. Understand that first. The next part, the response. So after you've been through the cue, you've either felt or seen the cue, then you had the craving for normality and feeling happy, feeling a certain emotion, and here is the response. This is self-explanatory. This is you going out and eating the food, sitting there. This is you on your sofa, eating the full box of donuts. This is the actual response. So the action is the response that you take. And how long have you done this on autopilot? Like, ask yourself that. Do you see what's going on here? Like, just keep a note of these things. So then the next thing we move on to is the reward. From the response, you get dopamine. This is what you are really after. The happiness is the dopamine. And all of those spiraled off into you chasing this one chemical in your brain, dopamine. Which again is also short-lived. At the root of it, all you're looking for is this. So now, how do I combat this? I understand the cycle. I understand what goes on in my mind. I understand what's going on here. I understand the actions and the response. I'm beginning to understand it. I'm beginning to paint a good picture of what's going on here. I'm understanding you. So what the fuck do I do? Well, luckily for us, just you realizing and acknowledging and being mindful of this whole process, of this chain of events, is enough for you to break out of it. If you can just break it all apart, that is when you'll see real change. And an easy way to do this is literally every single day in the morning, sit down and journal. Journal your thoughts and try and figure out what these cues are. Because everyone has a routine. Everyone feels certain negative emotions more than others. You will always, in your mind right now, you'll have this negative emotion that you always resort back to. That's recurring in your mind. From week to week, it's one that always sticks with you. You need to figure out why that emotion, that feeling is occurring in the first place. You need to figure out the cue, and then you need to figure out the cycle of events after that. What are you doing after that? What is causing the response? What is causing the response? The only way you'll figure that out is by finding the cue and the craving. And genuinely, just you being able to break it all apart and being mindful of it allows you to foresee failures. And over time, once you keep breaking it down further and further, you'll see the change that you're after. You'll stop with these bad habits. You'll actually break them apart and the bad habits will disappear. You won't even be that person anymore. Because when you can focus on the root cause and figure out the root problem and just put all your efforts into figuring and solving that, naturally, all the right actions will fall into place after that. All the good habits that you're trying to implement into your life will fall into place once you tackle the root cause. Instead of staying at surface level and thinking that this is the problem, this is the thing that's holding you back. It's not. Go deeper. Break it all apart.